Moms Demand Action does an amazing job of sending us texts, and then through those texts they say call your 2 congressmen, you hit this button, and then it launches this very targeted lobbying effort when things come up for vote. Is it worth it to, instead of focusing on our senators and our congressmen who already were preaching to the choir, you guys were all on the same side, should we change that to Mitch McConnell? I know we're not voting, we're not his constituents, but could we pretend to be his constituents and say, hey, we live in your district and this is what we want, and just have hundreds of thousands of people calling him specifically to pass these bills?
I don't know how I feel about pretending to be in somebody's district, because I could imagine that being, I'm thinking about my wonderful staff assistant sitting there answering phone calls. But the reality is, and this comes back to something I said, it is sometimes a little frustrating to live in a district in a state where your representatives do agree with you, because you've already succeeded in getting the representation that you want. It is, I'm not saying it's ignored, but it is less powerful to be contacting senators from another state. It's just easier for them to just dismiss that. It's not part of the count that Mitch McConnell will receive. He wants to know how many people from Kentucky called in or wrote letters. But again, support Brady, support moms, because these organizations can mobilize people in Mitch McConnell's state. They can mobilize people in all these other states where senators are still on the wrong side of the issue. So that's one way to do it. And as I said, don't hesitate to call me, even if you think I'm on the right side, because you still need to push me to prioritize the issue even more with all the other things that I have to prioritize. Plus my staff actually enjoy sometimes getting nice phone calls saying, we'd like to thank the congressman for his vote. It makes their day.
So I just want to thank Congressman, our Assemblyman, Sophie, Allison, Moms, and Brady, and all the people who joined us this morning. This is such an important conversation. This is such a daily topic. This is something, like John said, I was at somewhere and the people didn't even know there was a mass shooting in Milwaukee. They didn't even know. So it's just becoming so part of our everyday fabric that it's not even mentioned in the news, or it's mentioned in a blip. They spend more time on the weather. So I think, keep writing our elected leaders. We are so lucky where we live because our elected leaders are so accessible. Tell them you're always here. John, you're always around. Mila, JC is always around. And we're so fortunate to have a town of educated, involved citizens and residents, and come to township committee meetings. Let us know what you're thinking. We are here. We are elected by you, for you, and thank you for everybody for your time and access. Thank you.
I would just like to ask that woman if she really believes committing voter fraud is a good political strategy, but I don't know where she went.